Hi everyone, and good Friday to you. It's May the 22nd, and I'm reaching out to you at this time with an update on Magoffin County's second confirmed case of COVID-19. As I told you on last night's program, I was to be off today, not airing a 6 or 11 o'clock broadcast of Your News Today in lieu of myself being at the Magoffin County High School for the afternoon and evening hours, wrapping up filming of the graduation ceremony. However, this morning I received notice from local officials of our second case of the coronavirus in Magoffin County, and in lieu of that, we are reaching out to you this evening with that update and the following interview. That comes as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is reporting that they believe about 35% of those infected with the coronavirus are asymptomatic and show no symptoms, while local officials today, Magoffin County Judge Executive Matt Wireman and our Public Health Director and Mayor Pete Shepard are reporting the second confirmed case of COVID-19. This after a local man was tested at Hope Family Medical Center earlier this week on Wednesday. It's the county's second case, which these officials have serious concerns about, given the fact they say that it appears that many people have let their guard down based on businesses in parts of the state reopening over the past several days and in the coming days, while at the same time the virus just now getting here to Magoffin County. We'll begin their interview tonight with some information on Magoffin County's first confirmed case more than a week ago now. Last evening, it was believed by local officials that that individual had been released from the hospital. Health Director Pete Shepard, however, confirms tonight that he is still hospitalized and has not been released, as was thought this time yesterday. We were under the impression that he had been released from the hospital. Is that or is that not the case today?
That's not the case. He was not released from the hospital. He's still in the hospital. He's not in ICU. He's having other issues other than coronavirus symptoms that's keeping him in the hospital.
And again, if you would remind my viewers, in case they weren't here last night, in regards to how he was tested and why and so forth and his condition.
He was having problems at home breathing. He's had pneumonia in the past, and he was taken to an emergency room, and at the emergency room they did test him and he came back positive, and he was sent to another hospital and for quarantine. And at that hospital, he started having other issues other than just the pneumonia part of the coronavirus symptoms part. And then he was shipped to a UK hospital, and he's been there ever since.
And he will have to quarantine after being released?
His quarantine will be up next Tuesday, and the policy or protocol for the state is he will have to test twice within a 24-hour period and be negative on both those tests.
Okay. And we're here today to talk about what's been confirmed as our second case. What can you tell me about that?
We do have a second confirmed case in Magoffin County, 36-year-old male. He has had very, very limited contact with anybody in Magoffin County. He works out of the county. That business has been notified, and luckily at his business that he was at, he wore a mask, and all the employees there wore a mask. So, and they did do social distancing. He wasn't very close to anybody there. So he is at home, he is cooperating, and he is quarantined for 14 days. Unless he shows symptoms after 14 days and his 2 tests, then he'll be allowed to return to work. Like I say, limited. There's only 2 in his household and then 2 other people in another household that he had contact with. They have been contacted and they are all cooperating, and they will be isolated in their homes for 14 days. So
is he largely or completely asymptomatic? Why was he tested?
He was tested because he started feeling bad on Monday. He did have a cough. He didn't have a fever. He had a cough, and he just felt bad. And when he went to the doctor on Wednesday, they went ahead and done the test on him, and it came back this morning positive.
Okay. What else do we want to cover today, Pete? I know that you've probably got a short list.
Well, my short list is mask, and I'll tell you what, if this guy, this gentleman that worked at another business, if he hadn't had a mask on and any of the people in that business hadn't had a mask on, they would have been shut down. They would have been shut down for 14 days, and I'm sorry. And I know there's some businesses in town. I've had numerous reports on one especially that's not wearing their mask, and they've been notified, and if they do not comply, then we'll have to go through some legal action on that. But they got to realize if somebody comes in that store with it, or if one of them has it, then that whole store is going to be shut down, and it's going to be shut down for 14 days. I'm sorry, that's just the law, and that's the way it should be. We cannot let this thing get out of hand. Now, we already have 2 cases now in Magoffin County, and luckily, both cases have been people that's really not been out in the public lot, not been in businesses. But if they go in these businesses and get in close contact with people, then it's going to be a hard thing not to have to close most of them down until they were quarantined for 14 days. And I go in these businesses, you go in these businesses, our friends, neighbors go in these businesses, and I will not let just because you're a friend that's got a business, we're not going to let you stay open if you think you want to pass this virus around, because it's here, and I think it's going to be just a little worse since everything's been opened up. We need to stay home, keep doing the things we've been doing, folks. It's not going to go away real quick. And I know everybody wants to go out and do things and eat and all this stuff, but let me tell you what, it's serious. Until it happens to you, these people here didn't think they'd ever get it either. And even this one guy, the last positive case has been wearing a mask at work, and it's hard to figure out where they get it from. So I'm just telling everybody, I'm just asking you and pleading with you, just over the weekend, this weekend, stay home and let's not get this thing out of hand in Magoffin County. As of today, we've tested 498 people in Magoffin County, and 474 have come back negative. And we've got 22 pending, but we do have 2 positive. And like I say, when this was really going on strong, we didn't have any positives. And now that everything's starting to open up a little bit, now we're starting to see cases in Magoffin County. So it's up to us. It's up to you. If you want to stay safe, you want to keep your family safe, you got to do the guidelines the governor's put down. And just everybody stay safe and stay home and wear your mask.
Real quickly, so let's clarify this. So employees, businesses, that is a must. That's a have to. That is a guideline. You and I spoke yesterday about watching individuals, largely maybe 10%, going into these businesses not wearing theirs. So what are we held to do by law or by order, so to speak?
The governor has mandated, or by law, by executive order, that everyone that works in a business, an employee, has to wear a mask, and the employer has to provide them this mask. That is the mandated order. Customers are allowed to come in if the business allows it without a mask. Now, a business can say, if you don't wear a mask, you can't come in. And the governor has said that would be perfectly fine, and we'll enforce that. But as far as people out in the public that wants to go into business, they do not have to wear a mask. But employees are mandated to wear a mask.
Judge?
Yeah.
What's weighing on your mind at this point with this revelation?
Well, as we knew, we were going to have positive cases in Magoffin County. But again, what this proves is that we're not immune to this. As Pete said, this guy didn't think he was going to get it. We none think things like that. It's just like getting in your car and driving to town. You don't think you're going to get in an accident, but how many times do those things happen? You can't plan on those. This individual doesn't know where he got it, and with all the relaxing of the restrictions that we've been under, I know our economy's suffering, and we need to get things moving forward. But it's upon us to make sure that we follow the guidelines and that we don't cause a spike in the cases. The consequences of a spike, even though we've not had a lot in Eastern Kentucky, if we have a spike, where's everyone going to go? We don't have a lot of hospital beds in Eastern Kentucky. Who's going to come to Eastern Kentucky to our rescue when we have a spike because we fail to comply with all these guidelines? There's no one going to come to us. And we're going to have, if this was to become a major outbreak, I just don't know what would happen as far as our community goes. They had the big hospitals all up and ready in the big urban areas, but we never had nothing like that here. And we've not had the cases here. And some of that could be because we're sparsely populated versus the highly concentrated populated areas. But we need to make sure that we take care of our own, as we have for generations. And the way to do that is to follow these guidelines. Wear that mask. The mask is not so much to keep you from getting it, but if you're asymptomatic, you could walk in and give it to your entire family. And the last thing I would want to do is see my mother or my children or any of my relatives or my friends get sick because I failed to act. So we're pleading with you, please follow the guidelines. We're opening up this weekend for Memorial Day. Follow the guidelines. let's take care of our own like we always have. Here we got the second case. We've got it. It's in the county. We don't know who else has got it. It's going to double, and that's what happens all the time. It will double and double and double before it plateaus. We're just in the early stages of it here, I believe. And again, just follow the guidelines.
In closing, a reminder that I'll be back with your news today on Tuesday of next week after what I hope is a safe, joyous, and relaxing weekend for all. Thank you.